behalf of the Board of Trustees, I proudly invest you with the new presidential medallion, that you may fulfill the duties and responsibilities of the task before you.
I've tried not to look back too much while I've been at the university, because I'm always focusing on what do we need to be doing next. But people keep asking the question as you think about leaving the position, what do you see when you look back? And I see real changes. One is a change of culture that may be difficult for people in the institution to see. There was a time when people were worried about paychecks bouncing. You know, there was a time when people did not want to communicate very much from one office to another. And those times are different now. And to see a culture where people are actually making suggestions and requests about here are things that we can do tomorrow that we haven't been able to do before is a different culture, and that's rewarding. It's also a stronger institution because we have more diversity in who we are. We have graduate professional programs, we have a solid school of pharmacy, we have a physician assistance program, we have a leadership program. We once had almost half of our students interested in nursing, and so you're dependent just on one field. And to have this diversity of strengths in the institution really makes for sustainability of the school. We also have diversity in the student population. I was very surprised when the accreditation team, when they were last here, said that the great strength of the institution and a surprise to them was the diversity that they heard from students. They said that when they met with small student groups, group after group, they heard individuals say, whoever I am, you know, whatever my gender, my ethnicity, you know, my background, my interests, this is my safe place. This is where I can be who I am. And that's a phenomenal credit to the students and the faculty who have created that kind of a diverse culture. There was an accreditation report on the university 30 years ago that pointed out that the mission was, and feelings about the mission were confusing and contradictory, and had been so for some 10 years. I think it was my first faculty meeting, and I asked the faculty if they would take a straw poll about their mission preferences, and they even refused to do so. It took a year to resolve the issue. The faculty passed a draft resolution about mission, and the board turned it down. But out of that process, out of that collaboration, we produced a mission statement that today most people on campus, including students, can recite. The mission of the University of Charleston is to educate each student for a life of productive work, enlightened living, and community involvement. The curriculum of the university flows out of the mission statement. And what's unique and special about the University of Charleston is that we are actually focused on the student. And we began asking a question, what do we want students to learn? That's a powerful question. You know, the boldness of our focusing on outcomes and embedding the learning in majors and programs rather than having students learn important skills in a course like communication, which isn't necessarily related to what they're studying in their major. That embedding process and the outcomes is what led higher education researchers to call our curriculum distinctive. It's why a group of educators from Japan came to Charleston, West Virginia to learn how to be outcomes focused. And it's why I was invited to make a presentation at an international conference of presidents from Islamic majority countries in Istanbul, Turkey. Embedded outcomes-focused learning is an unbelievably noteworthy achievement of the University of Charleston's faculty. If we're going to prepare our graduates for the world of tomorrow, they've got to be prepared to innovate. They've got to be prepared to be creative. They've got to be able to create, develop new ideas. That's what the world of tomorrow is demanding from them. And that's why we are so committed to having every student learn creativity and having every student learn and experience and be challenged to innovate. Students do want to have a good time when they go to college. Yes, they want to learn. Yes, they want to get a degree, but they don't want to be unhappy. So athletics is one of those things which gives them involvement. They are part of a team. A majority of our undergraduate residential students are athletes. One of the great things about our athletics program is that our coaches understand and students understand that they are student athletes. We take that term very seriously. We really believe that if they're not in class in the morning, that they shouldn't be in practice in the afternoon. We drive them to be academic All-American teams, and many of our teams are. It was wonderfully exciting after our national champion soccer team won the national title, that they were hosted at the mall. There was a long line of people who came to greet them, including many, many young students. And they came because the soccer players were their coaches and were their teachers. And we are proud of that kind of relationship and proud of the financial support that the community gives us. We're a community-based institution, even more than we are an alumni-based institution. So we're proud of that relationship. It's very critical to us, and I believe the city would not be the exciting place it is without the University of Charleston. The number of community service projects that every athletic team and every fraternity and sorority does is overwhelming. Every first-year student is involved in some community service activity. The speakers series, the hosting of events, whether those are weddings or whether that's a symphony Sunday or whether that's wine and all that jazz. All of those events bring the community to the university and tighten the tie between the two. I find it gratifying that those things have happened. And I hope that and pray that they continue to happen, and I'm confident that they will. I think the university brings a life-enriching presence to the city. I don't think there's anything that we have done over the last 30 years that others wouldn't have done. I mean, these were just things that needed to have happen. I was not interested in building buildings when I came to University of Charleston. I was more interested in building up academic programs. But I came to understand that if you don't have good housing facilities, students don't come. If students don't come, then you don't have a curriculum and you're not fulfilling the mission of the institution. And so I have immense gratitude to the faculty for what they have championed and what they have done, to the administrators who work behind the scenes and don't get lots of credit for doing their jobs that support students and make the process work. To cabinet members who've been here 15 years or 20 years and helped all of these changes to occur. And Janet Welch has been perhaps even more committed to the university and passionate about it in some ways than I have. And the work in the Irma Bird Gallery and changing the look and the feel of the campus has made a wonderful impact. I do have this piece of limestone that has scripted on it the word nothing. It's a fascinating piece, and many people look at it and say, what is that all about? Not too many people can figure it out. But it means nothing is written in stone. It says to me that there is change occurring all the time, and change occurring more quickly than it has before. It also says to me the job of the leader is to see where the institution ought to be and to try to get it there. The message is in the stone. Nothing is written in stone.